Hello, Astria here. In this video, I'm going to yap about why I quit Genshin Impact and why I now play Wuthering Waves instead of Genshin. Now, as a disclaimer, while I do love WoWa and I really do enjoy playing it, and while I'll probably never go back to seriously playing Genshin, I still hold a lot of love for Genshin Impact, so this isn't a hate video. Please keep that in mind. So, if you're here thinking I'm going to hate on Genshin, then you're very much free to click away. But if you're just here to listen to me yap, then welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video, and I hope you enjoy listening. La la, la la la, la la la, la 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 la. Subscribe. Thanks.
つまり、お前たちは世界の外から漂流してきたのか?
It was the perfect series of unfortunate events. Genshin Impact couldn't have launched at a more profitable time. Real life seemed to be crashing down in flames as the world prepared itself for a global pandemic. People were forced to hide away inside their homes, prohibited from going out. Time in the real and outside world became dystopian. The world, it seemed, had retreated indoors, unable to go out for work or leisure. Everyone was inside. And everyone, it seemed, was on the internet. Usage for social networking sites spiked as people with nothing to do crowded the cyberspace. Then, in came Genshin Impact. Released in late 2020, the game seemed the perfect escape for people looking to be distracted from the real, scary things happening outside their doors. And I was but one of the people who played it and fell in love with it. I remember it vividly. I was on a call with some friends on Discord, and they recommended the game to me. Words like gotcha and open world RPG were never really in my vocabulary before I got to play Genshin. But once I got introduced to the game, I got hooked. It seemed to me that Genshin Impact was the perfect game. Number one, it was free. Not only that, it was available on multiple platforms. And two, all my friends on Discord were playing it. Finally, three, the anime art style seemed everything I didn't even know I wanted in a game. Just for context, before I played Genshin Impact, the limit of my gaming tastes were city building games, The Sims, and throw in some Don't Starve together. I was a casual gamer. I picked the games I liked, and I liked the games I picked. I wasn't a prolific gamer like my brothers who have like more than 200 games on Steam accounts. No, I was the love 'em and stick to 'em kind of girl. The kind of player who played very few games but played those few games obsessively. Genshin Impact couldn't have been more perfect for someone like me back then. Forced to stay indoors, who had a tendency to be very loyal to the games she did like, and who had never really been introduced to other anime-style games. So, I became hooked. I played Genshin Impact religiously, just like a lot of people during the pandemic. However, how I differed from the other people was this. While the world started to heal from the ravages of the pandemic, and while people soon grew bored of the virtual world Genshin Impact had to offer in favor of the real world, I stayed with Genshin. Sure, I would get burnout sometimes. I'd skip a week or two of gameplay and to deal with my own real-world problems, but I always came back. The game made it easy. The dailies were quick, the rewards were bountiful, or at least it seemed to me at that time, and the world was beautiful. The world of Genshin still is beautiful. So I played Genshin Impact for 4 years on and off, but mostly on, before the burnout couldn't be ignored anymore.
Hello fellow traveler and welcome to my desert exploration video. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna be able to complete this entire desert in one sitting. I probably will not.
Okay, so past me was correct. Okay, even just talking about this part is tiring me out. Okay, so the burnout started after I actually managed to complete all exploration in the desert regions of Sumeru. Whew, I didn't notice it then, but looking back, that was definitely the start of it all. Genshin, to me, after years of loyal and kind of obsessive gaming, had become stale, repetitive. I looked towards the release of Fontaine and thought to myself, here we go again. I had become sick of the game. Sure, Fontaine was about to be released, but the game had not changed. There was nothing new in Genshin. Even with the advent of a quote-unquote new region, it was the same old bullshit. Pardon my French. Explore the same new area, collect the same new characters. My heart was no longer in it. So, even months after Fontaine was released, I had not really explored any of the areas. I was tired of it all. I was tired of the same stingy rewards from 2 Primogem chests that predominantly littered the map. Tired of the maze-like and frustrating maps that needed an interactive map to fully complete. I was tired of the text-heavy storytelling that told and told and told and told instead of showed. I was tired of the same game mechanics, tired of saving up for the same new character that was about to be released, and most of all, I was tired of not seeing any real change in the game. Genshin remained, even 4 years after its release, the same game from the very beginning. Genshin Impact had become stale, and my heart was sore after Hoyoverse repeatedly refused to listen to the cries of its loyal player base. So, when I heard from the grapevine that a new open-world anime RPG style gacha game was about to be released, I decided to give it a try. Enter stage left, Wuthering Waves. Alright, we're now in Wuthering Waves. I was so hyped for this game, and now I'm like, I don't know how to feel, actually.
Dude.
I don't know how to feel. Okay, I'll start. Tap to land in Solaris 3. Please select your appearance. I want to be the girl. Okay, to be fair, when I first started playing Wuthering Waves, my laptop couldn't even handle it. The game was clunky, there were so many bugs, a lot of people couldn't even play the game, but Kuro Games, the game developer for Wuthering Waves, for those of you who don't know or, live under a rock, they redeemed themselves. Sure, the game had its flaws, and sure, it was far from perfect, but Kuro Games gave rewards and promises to make the game better. The rewards helped soothe frustrated players, but the real deal sweetener came in the form of 2 things. Number 1, fulfilled promises, and number 2, player-based communication. As Kuro Games continued to develop Wuthering Waves, it seemed to me that they were achieving victory after victory, going from strength to strength. The game did not start out as perfect, but it sure keeps trying to attain lofty heights that Genshin could never, or refuse to reach. So, after a few more months of me playing Genshin with less than half a heart, I finally decided to quit the game after Notland's release and fully focus my game time on Wuthering Waves. So, to sum it all up, here's 7 reasons why I quit Genshin Impact. Never to return. Just like there are 7 elements, here are my 7 reasons why. Number 1, the burnout. Like I said previously, I had been burnt out from playing Genshin for a while. I was not playing the game to its full after Sumeru. I wasn't exploring the new maps or even maxing out the events. I let lore and story stay in my quest inventory. In short, I was tired of playing the game. I was burnt out. Number 2, the lack of variety and change. Genshin had a system in place, and it was to an extent an effective system. But after years of repetitiveness, it really got stale. There seemed to me nothing new under the fake sky of Tibet. There was no variety, and there was no change. Number 3, the artifact system. Genshin's endgame grind seemed to me dissatisfying, frustrating, and never-ending. It took months to kit out a character to above average standard, and as someone who wanted to quote-unquote perfect her characters, this was inevitably a deal-breaker for me. Number 4, the weapon wish system. Need I say more? After hearing that Wuthering Waves had no 50-50 for their weapon banner, that it was guaranteed, I opened my eyes to the injustice that was Genshin Impact's farce of a weapon wish banner. It's basically a 1 in 3 chance to get the weapon you want, or something you really didn't need in the first place. Number 5, Hoyoverse could really do better. After the debacle that was the first anniversary quote-unquote rewards, or rather the complete lack of them, I would sometimes have hoped that Hoyoverse would listen to its loyal player base this time, but I would always end up disappointed. The company could really do better, but they seem to refuse to. Number 6, lack of time and resources to commit to 2 games. Now, this is rather a personal take, but I just don't have the time to play 2 open world gacha games at the same time. As someone who was a quote-unquote perfectionist, I want to 100% and max out everything. This is also the reason why I will never really commit to a second account in Wuthering Waves. And finally, number 7, the realization that Kuru Games and Wuthering Waves is just better than Genshin Impact and Hoyoverse. Finally, we come to the heart of the matter. The 7th reason why I quit Genshin Impact is this. Wuthering Waves is just the better game. So yeah, there you have it. People and gentlefolk, Hoyo shills and Kurobots, we have now come to my grand conclusion. I'm sorry to everyone who prefers Genshin, but Wuthering Waves is just a better game for me. Now, there are many reasons to this, and they all tie into my reasons on why I quit Genshin, but it really just boils down to burnout and preference. I'm not saying that I'm never gonna go back to playing Genshin, but I am saying that I'm never gonna go back to playing it as seriously as I did back then. So yeah, there you have it. This has been my long-winded farewell to Genshin speech, my last Genshin Impact hurrah. Now, I will always look fondly back on my time in Teyvat. I will forever remember Genshin Impact as the game that helped me cope with things. I had so much fun, and I'll always be thankful for that. In the end, Genshin Impact will remain in my heart as a fond memory. I still love the game, just not enough to play it anymore. So, allow me to make an imaginary toast. I raise my glass and clink it against yours. Cheers. Here's to a new horizon. Here's to the crashing of the sea and the shore. The dull sound of roaring waters, the wuthering of the waves. Wink, wink. Here's to this entirely new world and this entirely new game. Finally, let me say this just one last time. Ad Astra Abyssask, may my journey lead me onwards. Goodbye, Genshin Impact, and hello, Wuthering Waves. This has been Astria, and I'm signing off. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.